So Socrates said the secret to change is to focus all of your energy not on fighting the old, but on building the new. In this video, I'm going to introduce you to one of my favorite training movements, and I'm going to show you a little bit of the potential impact that it can have on your physique and give you some actionable advice on how to implement it intelligently into your training. And this one core movement can completely transform your strength, your power, and your physique. And this is the weighted chin-up. I've worked my weighted chin-up to up over 180 pounds, and I'd love to show you how you can do the same. All the information in today's video, plus much more, can be found in my book, Master Your T. Visit masteryourt.com for a free digital download of the book. $20 in value, absolutely free for you. Let's talk about what the chin-up can do for your physique. First, a proper chin-up hits your biceps considerably more effectively than a standard pull-up. You'll also engage your back and your core quite a bit, along with more minor but not insignificant engagement of other important areas like your shoulders, your lower back, and your lats. Most men are looking for a strong, chiseled back and a core with broad shoulders and powerful arms. And that's why I recommend the chin-up so highly. It builds all of these more specifically and effectively when you add weight, and I'll get into that in a minute. The most important thing that you need to realize, and something that most people just completely don't get, is that when it comes to using movement like chin-ups for physique enhancement, pure volume in terms of reps does not matter. Most guys think it's incredible if somebody can do 40 chin-ups. While it might be impressive, and it might be a feat of muscular endurance, it really does nothing for your physique. Now, plenty of light, super skinny guys can work their way up to extremely high reps with chin-ups or pull-ups. Sadly, most guys think that getting stronger and improving their physique is correlative with doing more reps on a movement like this. And they waste all their time trying to build up to some number like 30, 40, or 50, and they usually barely see any actual improvement in the way they look during this period of time. So here's what you need to do instead. Get a weight belt and throw on some plates while you're doing the weighted chin-ups. A few things are actually more impressive in the gym than seeing a dude hang from the pull-up bar with over 100 pounds around his waist, banging out reps. That's power. You're not going to see skinny guys doing that. You're not going to see fat guys doing it. Dudes who have spent the time building up their raw power will be able to hammer out heavy weighted chins. Usually, naturally, they develop a very masculine and very proportionate physique. Usually not too heavy and not too light, as the body tends to find a natural balance when gravity-based training is involved, like a hanging movement, for example. Now here's my recommendation. First off, if you can currently do more than 8 to 10 reps of chin-ups with good form, stop wasting your time trying to do more reps and instead add weight. Grab a weight belt and start with a 25-pound plate and then work your way up in small increments every week by adding 5 to 10 pounds. Now the set by rep scheme that is working super well for me and for certain people that have been following my THOR program, for example, in terms of building foundational pulling strength, is somewhere between 3 by 5. If you can't currently do 8 to 10 reps, chin-ups or pull-ups, then here's what you need to do instead. Begin by building up your reps to that point. You do this purely by neuromuscular conditioning. So put a pull-up bar in your doorway or something and do pull-ups as often as possible throughout the day, even as much as 3 to 4 times. Since you can't do many to begin with, your sessions won't really take longer than a couple minutes anyways. The constant exposure to the movement forces your muscles under the same stress over and over, and they'll quickly adapt to this. Now, I used this principle to actually get my first muscle up in just 2 weeks. I also used this tactic to build up from around 7 pull-ups to over 40 over the course of just 4 weeks when I began strength training. And then I realized that doing 40 pull-ups is pretty much pointless. Once you're ready, drop your reps down to 5, doing 3 sets, and progressively add weight every single week or 2. Funny enough, you'll naturally be able to do more reps at this point anyways. Now, in this video, I'm going to lay out a progression that you can use to achieve 180-pound weighted chin-ups in your training regimen. The weighted chin-up is a big movement in my training recommendations within the THOR program. Now, the progression in this video guide is designed to work for individuals who can consistently do weighted chins with 25 pounds or more on their weight belt or their dip belt for reps. Now, if you're not there yet, or maybe you can't complete 10 reps with body weight, then follow the first foundational progression that I was talking about just before this, and follow the plan that I outlined in terms of getting up to this 8 to 10 reps on the chins before you start working into the weighted progression. In my opinion, you don't really need to, nor necessarily want to do a full lockout dead hang on the chin-ups with the weight. The goal is aesthetic, so if you're locking out your shoulders, especially as you get higher in the weight, especially as you get up to 180 pounds. It puts really an unnecessary stress on the shoulders if you do it too often. Keep the tension before pulling back up. You can kind of get like right down there and get a nice pull back up. For those of you who are physically ready for this challenge, let's get into it. So we're going to talk about getting up to over 100-pound weighted chin-ups. As you progress along the road to building up your weighted chins, you're naturally going to see muscle gain in the right areas because of all the progressive strength gain. But in my opinion, the really noticeable results come when you're at around that 100-pound mark in terms of the weight being pulled up. For some people, this might seem impossible or at least super far off in the distant future. However, with the right approach and a plan for steady progressive strength gain, most guys can achieve this in under 6 months. This timeline depends on current body weight. Obviously, it's going to be more difficult for a guy who is a fit 130 pounds than someone who's 170 to 190. And it'll be very difficult for women, but not impossible. For the sake of simplicity, we're going to assume the averages here. So the average, 5'9" to 6 foot tall male is somewhere between 160 to 190 pounds. And I'm going to use pounds as the measurement for weight, not kilograms, because for whatever reason, that's what we use in the US, and I'm American. The progression for working your way up is as follows. So most people that are watching this are probably going to be new to weighted chin-ups or relatively new. So if you're experienced, you're probably already doing near or even above 100 pounds. Starting this week, incorporate weighted chins into your routine twice a week and do the movement when you're fresh, i.e. don't do it at the end of your session when you're already tired. So 2 times a week. Even if you're training 3 times a week, do it twice a week. You're going to take advantage of the newbie gains here. So one session will be standard grip chin-up, where your palms are facing you. The other session is going to be hammer grip chin-up, where the palms are facing one another. And you're going to do 3 sets by 5 reps, both times. Begin this week at the weight that you're used to. Let's just say it's 25 pounds. So the first week you do the weight, the normal weight, like 25 pounds. Next week you add 2.5 to 5 pounds. The week after you add another 2.5 to 5 pounds. And then week 4, it's the kind of the consolidation week. And this works really well with the THOR consolidation weeks that are built into the program. It's got like a 4-week cycle where you build up progressively and then you do a consolidation week. And that's pretty much it. That's the secret. You just continue this type of pattern every 4 weeks, do this cycle until you're up to 100 pounds or more. There's really no other trick than just getting stronger consistently and then consolidating and resting and recovering so you can be stronger coming back every single time. And for a lot of guys, all you got to do is do the math. If you're starting at 25 pounds, you'll see that it really will only take just a few months before you're up to that 100-pound mark if you do it consistently. So this requires a lot of focused effort, but it's really not that complicated. So hopefully this was a good primer on how you're gonna get up to over 100-pound chin-ups in the next few months. It might take 3 months, might take 6 months, might take 9 months, but you can get there if you're really focused on it and you do this sort of a heavy training and then consolidation and rest. And then you come back and do progressively more and more and more. And you'll see that you start to feel amazing when you get up to a certain level. If you want to learn more about how to naturally increase your testosterone with training, with supplements, with nutrition, lifestyle things like sex, then you'll love my book, Master Your T. And you can get it for free right now over at masteryourt.com. I'm actually giving away the information as a digital download, not a physical book, but a digital one for anybody that wants it, because I want to help people overcome their low T. I want people to get into a high T state because a lot of guys don't think that you can do it naturally, but all of the 880 references in this book would tell you otherwise. You'll also get a $5 off coupon for Testro X over there, and Testro X is our natural testosterone support supplement. So both of these, again, are yours for free over at masteryourt.com. And if you like this video on 100-pound chin-ups, then just give me a like. I'd love if you want to subscribe and check out my other videos. Leave me any questions in the comments. I'm happy to help you, and I'll see you on the next video.